You're listening to the Virtual Boys podcast by Nintendo City. This podcast is done by 4 friends that talk about anything and everything Nintendo. Check out our website at nintendcity.com and be sure to follow us on your social network of choice. Please be sure to subscribe and share us with your friends. Oh, and please enjoy our show. Welcome back to the Virtual Boys podcast. This is episode 44. I'm David, Future, accompanied today with James.
I'm besweetched with the Switch.
Skylar.
Maddie Switchmas.
And Jordan.
And a switchy new year.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's
Yay!
Switchmas. Anyway, we'd like to...
Switchmas.
It's a Switchmas miracle.
Oh my
Switchmas
gosh.
miracle.
4 weeks of Switchmas.
Anyway, welcome again to the Virtual Boys podcast. We'd like to thank you for joining us for this wonderful episode we have. Today's topic is about the future of the Switch. So I will be hosting this topic this week, and I just want to start off by saying, if you haven't listened to our episode about the presentation of the Switch, I'd highly recommend that you go listen to that one before this one, since we talk about a lot of the nitty-gritty details about the Switch and how we thought that the presentation was, and you know, a lot of things that we're excited for, etc., etc., etc. You could go take a listen to that episode, and then you'll be caught up. But we're going to talk about the future of the Switch, what we think the console needs, what we think that, you know, games that could possibly come out that are important for the Switch's life cycle, things that we want to see in the future, maybe how the Switch works in conjunction with all of these features, etc., etc. But anyway, to start, let's just jump in by saying that the presentation was pretty awesome. I mean, we rated that in the last episode, but what did it miss concerning the future of the Switch? Do any of you guys have any thoughts concerning that?
It needs more promises going forward. I mean, if you look back at, say, the Wii in its launch, when they were pitching the Wii, it wasn't just the release day and then a few things later on. It was, we had stuff all the way through Mario Galaxy, which was more than a full year away from when the launch of the system. Like, we had promise of Twilight Princess, Mario Galaxy, Metroid Prime 3, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, Super Paper Mario. Like, the list went on and on and on about all the different games that were going to come out for the Wii. And for the Switch, we have Mario, Zelda, ARMS, and Xenoblade.
Splatoon.
1-2 Switch.
And Splatoon.
And Mario Kart.
It just seems a bit more dry than
I see what you're saying.
systems.
The only promise that I think they make that kind of goes along with what you're saying is that they said there's like 80 games in development. But that's so vague and so, I don't know, it's not concrete.
Yeah, games can be canceled at any time.
Right. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, they could be canceled if like the Switch just doesn't sell at all. Which I think it's going to sell pretty well for the first few quarters just because of Zelda.
Yeah.
And it's going to pick up again in the holiday season.
Please.
And in Japan when Splatoon comes out.
Oh man, that'd be big. I just love that Splatoon.
Maybe not as much here for Splatoon, but definitely
No.
Japan.
Definitely Japan.
Yeah, I definitely think that, you know, promises are something that Nintendo needs to make sure to make and keep with us. Because I'm certain that a lot of people feel burned about the Wii U, especially when it comes to Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I mean, they were like, Zelda U, it's the huge title that's coming out for this console. Jordan, you mentioned in the last episode of the episode before how you promised one of your friends, like, oh, new Zelda game's going to come for the Wii U. And he bought one, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And then it never came. Well, it's coming now, but it's like, might as well have waited for a Switch if he only bought it for one game. So it's like, people are really kind of upset about the Wii U and not delivering on its promise for Zelda. I mean, I feel like there were a lot of things that they wanted to get done with the Wii U that they tried to communicate with us that didn't really get done, or at least didn't get done in the way that we expected. I mean, we didn't get a Metroid game like I was really hoping for on the Wii U, and just all of these other things, especially with how slow Virtual Console was. I mean, they only just released Majora's Mask and Pokemon Snap and Mario Kart 64 for, you know, and all 3 of those games were on the Wii's Virtual Console, like, relatively quickly. It's like, why did it take so long? But anyway, moving forward with the future of Switch, they definitely need to make and keep these promises. I want to ask you guys, what game series do you absolutely want to see in the future and why?
I'm just going to say Metroid, you know? because that's a series that's kind of been dying off recently because of lackluster games. Obviously, we know that from Skylar's experience, the Federation Force isn't really that bad of a game.
It's not. It's really not.
However, there was just a lot of flack from it because it was a different art style. It was not the same Metroid Prime that so many people loved. And then Other M was kind of just not good. I mean, gameplay was all right, but it was the story. Anyway,
was so bad.
we still need to do an episode about that. But it is just so sad to see such a great franchise just kind of tank.
Well, all great series go through their CDI phase, so I mean, we got Metroid CDI.
Well, let's hope it gets out of it because we really need it.
The last really good Metroid game was Prime 3 back in 2007, so it's been 10 years since.
10 years, guys.
You think the Zelda hiatus is long? That's pretty long.
I mean, you had Other M in there, but that wasn't very good.
I mean, we have had some other good Zelda games between the 6 years gap, like Between Worlds, and we've had Triforce Heroes is okay, like a few other ones though. Majora's Mask remake.
Well, and remasters and stuff like that for Zelda.
But Metroid hasn't been getting the same treatment.
Kind of like put it on the rug.
Yeah.
So that's, for me, that's the one I specifically want to see. And I may have taken David's. I'm sorry if I took yours, but
that's okay. I mean, I definitely wanted to talk about the return of Metroid. It's a series that I feel can introduce more gamers to a new playstyle. It definitely did for me. I was never big on, shooter type titles until I played through Metroid Prime.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine like playing with the HD rumble or whatever, and as Sam says lasers charging or something, you feel it like in the actual little gun thing on the side? That would be so cool. That would be excellent. I mean, I just want as many people on this Metroid train as possible because this game, like, Prime series needs to be remade. It needs to be almost rebooted by this point.
Yeah.
Almost.
An HD remake for the Prime games would be really good,
Would be huge.
I think that an HD remake for the Prime series would be a good prod that Nintendo could put out into the market to see how much interest there is in, like, a legitimate, really good Metroid game.
Yeah.
Like, if they were to push that out, I'm sure a lot of people would grab it. I mean, Metroid isn't necessarily the most popular Nintendo series. Actually, it isn't the most popular Nintendo franchise. But I think that they're misjudging the size of the fan base and how many people actually would want to play another Metroid game.
Exactly.
So, Metroid, definitely. We absolutely want to see a Metroid game. I mean, Skylar mentioned in the last episode, what the F is Retro doing? Like, why haven't we seen anything that Retro Studios has done? And they worked on Mario and Donkey Kong in the past. But anyway, what's another series that we need to see on the Switch in order for it to be successful in the future, at least in our minds?
So, for me personally, I don't know if this would actually help with the Switch as a whole, but I want to see another Star Fox game before Nintendo lets it die after the kind of failure with the last one.
Yeah.
I don't want that one to be the final nail in the coffin for the Star Fox series, and then we end up with I don't want Star Fox to go the way that Metroid has in this, because Other M practically killed the Metroid series basically, and that's why we're in this long hiatus because of how big Other M was supposed to be and how big of a flop it was. Well, Star Fox just recently kind of went through its own, not quite to the same extent as Other M, but it didn't resonate well like it should have. And even if all we get is a remake or just a port of the last Star Fox game, but with real controls, I think that'd be fine. Yeah,
that's the only problem I had with that game. Aesthetics I was fine with. I was fine with the story. Sure, repeat it again. I'm fine with that. But the gameplay kind of got me a little bit.
I don't get why people were so upset about it being too similar to Star Fox 64, because that was what we wanted, right?
Right.
That was what our big campaign was to try and get Nintendo to do.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it doesn't play like that game, which that's the one thing that got me. But I would like to see it again. They might just chalk it up to the Wii U being a sales failure anyway, and maybe they'll do another Star Fox game to try and give it another shot.
That's a good way to look at it.
That'd be my thoughts. But
that would be a very good, optimistic way of looking at it, yeah. So, Star Fox is definitely a series that could also, use a good comeback. I mean, if the Switch does sell like phenomenally in its first year, having these big games later, like you've already got the install base, so it's like, why not push them? It's like, if it sells really well at the beginning, you don't really need any more system sellers after that. But the game should be good enough quality that they become system sellers in a sense. But it's not like they need to worry about there not being an install base if this year is really as good as we're expecting it to be.
Every game should be a system seller. They should all be fantastic.
It's just to be striving for that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Star Fox definitely needs... They obviously tried to do a reboot, but, I mean, listen, Nintendo, I want a new Star Fox game, and try to make it more immersive like the original games were, in that sense, with the gameplay. Just be able to pick up and go, because it's an action, space fighter. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah, kind of arcadey style with, Star Fox 64, where you get points and you can suspend the game at any point because the stages are just long enough for a good playthrough if you'd only have time for a little bit. So,
yeah. Platinum was the right team for the job. They just got stuck with the raw end of the control stick, I guess.
Yeah.
To say.
Give it back to Platinum. Give them full reign of the game. Don't let Miyamoto tamper with it. And I think it would turn out really well.
I mean, he can definitely push certain ideas, but he definitely should not be in charge of the project. So, What other series? I mean, I definitely want to see a Kid Icarus game appear on the Switch.
Ooh.
I loved Kid Icarus Uprising. I think that it's the fun action and comedic game that Nintendo has. I mean, the series, at least the last game, was incredibly hilarious. The text and the dialogue between all of the characters. I mean, if you want to use Metroid as an example, Pit fights against Metroid-looking monsters, and it's like, hey, these guys look just like Metroids. Shh! They're like the goddesses are trying to shut him up or whatever. Because it's like
he's like, but they look like shh.
It's just so funny.
I'm just trying to say they look like Metroids.
And, I mean, the Switch, because it won't have a stylus, I mean, it does have the capacitive touch on the screen, but it doesn't have a stylus, which means that the Kid Icarus games could really benefit from a standard control scheme.
Well, yeah.
Please.
You can give it normal controls, the dual stick controls, like a Sin and Punishment style, because that's what Kid Icarus was going for in the flying segments anyway. Felt very Sin and Punishment-like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what they would have to do for Kid Icarus in the future. Or if you needed to change it again, I guess the style of the game again, I guess you can. But I mean, if you want to keep how Kid Icarus Uprising was, we don't need like a capacitive touch stylus. We don't need that. You don't need to sell me with that. We can just use the 2 analog sticks.
Yep. Game series I would like to see back is Kirby.
I'm glad you mentioned it.
Well, and that's the thing. This is Kirby's 25th anniversary is this year.
Freaking Kirby Planet Robobot. So good. So good. Best Kirby game. It's so good. But just have HAL make another Kirby game. I don't care. Like they could do whatever they want by this point. They've done fantastically with the series. They've done
Kirby
a really
sells
good
pretty
job.
well.
Yeah. And that's something the Japanese audience loves anyway, is Kirby. So Kirby's going to be around a while, but I mean, I love another Kirby game. And give the people who are making Fast Racing Neo the F-Zero franchise.
Give it to them.
Just be like, hey, make an F-Zero game. Fast
You're the
Racing
characters.
Neo.
Just do it.
It's already F-Zero. Just
take it.
Put
just
the skin
take
on
it.
Like, it'd be perfect. That Fast Racing Neo team, I forgot their names, but they do a really good job of that hype and that speed that you get.
Yeah, the fast,
exhilaration.
The high-speed racing games. F-Zero is definitely a game that could make a comeback on the Switch. I mean, let's see. If we think about racing games that we had on the Wii U, the only one I can really think of is Mario Kart 8.
Need for Speed.
Need for Speed, yeah, and Fast Neo Racing. So it's like, there's definitely room on the Switch for more racing games.
Yeah.
I think people enjoy racing games. I mean, Need for Speed is still alive, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Well, I mean, Fast Racing Neo did really well. They're making a sequel for the Switch.
Right.
So, I mean, they could do it. They could definitely take the F-Zero franchise and make it popular.
Yeah, give it to them.
I mean, Sega killed the franchise. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to talk about this. But, I mean, they could definitely bring it back. So, it would be really good.
Yeah. Jordan, what do you think about if they revive the Ice Climbers?
As much as I love the Ice Climbers in Smash Bros. And I love the original game, I don't really know if there's much of a market for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of a niche game. I'm personally fine with just the original Ice Climbers existing, to be honest.
Yeah. Ice Climbers HD Remix.
Wow.
This time we jump better.
Clue Land HD Remix. You were just playing a little bit of that on the NES Remix.
NES Remix. Hey, make another NES Remix. Why not? And do more remixing this time, dang it.
Not just like random challenges, like don't crash your bike in Excite Bike.
Yeah. Make put Donkey Kong in
Legend of
Metroid
Zelda.
or something, and you have to shoot him or something like that. That'd be great. I don't know, something like
Or
that.
put Metroid in the Donkey Kong. Put Samus in
Did
Donkey
you just
Kong.
call her Metroid?
That's not what I meant.
Yes!
No, it's not what
No,
I
it's good. It's
No,
good.
we get it. It's
It's
fine.
good.
So put Metroid in the Donkey Kong and
Yeah,
so,
just mix them.
Just mix the games.
It'd
yeah.
be cool. It'd be a lot of fun.
I think NES Remix has a lot of potential. Like, a lot of people really like the old NES style. Like, there's a lot of love for NES games. Let's see. Are there any other series that we believe should make a comeback to the Switch, on the Switch? Like, that
Everybody
we haven't
wanting
seen
a
in a
Mother
while?
4,
Yeah.
Oh,
Mother
yeah.
3.
Mother
Yeah.
Earthbound.
Man.
but I don't know how.
It's like
Let's get
every-
Mother 3 here for. I'm just kidding.
I don't know how
right before
realistic that
any
is.
big Nintendo presentation, I always see like on some websites like people that are like, using all these cryptic codes for Mother 3. They're like, E3 is M3 for Mother 3. And then they like show these images of the hype train with the characters riding it, and then it just shows faces of Reggie blowing up the tracks with his eye lasers after every conference. The latest one, like, because they keep like building on the same post, the latest one was, it zoomed out to the whole world. Reggie's face was faded on top of the globe, and there was just a nuclear explosion. It's like, Mother 3's not coming, guys. No, but if I remember correctly, I don't know if this was about Mother 3, but didn't Reggie say, talk to me in a year or something like that later?
So he said that there might be more coming up. He said, in a year, talk to me and we'll talk about what has been announced up to this point. So that's a really cryptic and vague thing to say, because it could be E3, it could be a direct. Sometime between now and next year, we probably are going to have Mother 3 or Metroid or both revealed.
Yeah.
sometime
Yeah,
this
it
year.
definitely seemed like he was hinting at that, although he could just be
Well,
lying.
and he
He's
said it
yanking on
after.
chain.
Somebody
Yanking
asked
on
me
chain.
about Mother 3 like earlier and then said that. So
They
it's
said
oh,
Mother
and
3
Metroid.
and Metroid.
Oh, and
Metroid.
Metroid, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would love another return to the Mother series. I mean, even just a virtual console release of Mother 3 would just like tickle me immensely. Like, I would be so thrilled for that. Because I mean, I've played it and I love it, and I would definitely love to have it on my Switch officially. So I would love that game, definitely. Are there any other series? I'm trying to think.
Make another Punch Out.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
I think
fun.
Punch Out could definitely have a good run.
Punch Out would work.
Yeah,
You can
Punch
even-
Out we did well.
You can do normal controls or with the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I like it.
Do both.
That's perfect for the Joy-Con idea, because they
Yeah.
do like one's in your left, one's
You
in
already
your
have
right hand,
arms and
you
that
punch
kind
'em,
of that
that kind of thing.
works.
That'd be great.
So now that we know what we want from Nintendo in the future, all these series. What do you guys think is the most realistic thing that Nintendo will do?
Nintendo will
Not
tank.
succeed on them.
Yeah.
Not
No.
do any of those things. I think Kirby's pretty realistic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kirby's pretty
Kirby's
realistic.
realistic.
Probably see Kirby. We'll probably see another Pikmin.
Oh yeah.
We didn't even mention Pikmin.
I imagine we'll get. I will be surprised if we don't get Metroid this generation.
I
be
will be
honest.
surprised.
I think it's in the pipeline. I think they're working on it now. I just don't think it's going to be near release. It's going to be one of the later Swan titles of the Switch.
That's fine. Realistically, something from Retro. I don't know what they're doing. But
Yeah.
I
they're doing
think
something.
Retro's game's going to be a disappointment, to be honest. I don't
no.
think they are what people want them to be or how they remember them. I think they're kind of a shell of a company of what they used to be back in the prime days.
They had been firing a lot of people,
Yeah.
so they've been downsizing.
Pooh.
So I'm not sure.
Well, it's a shame, but it happens, I guess.
I imagine they're gonna release a bunch of games similar to 1-2 Switch. Like
No, not that bad.
no, I think so. I think they will. I
Oh,
think
Nintendo, not Retro.
no, not retro. Nintendo.
Okay.
I guess I didn't explain that very well. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm
We get it,
sorry.
we get
I
it.
was
Okay,
like,
fine.
oh no.
I mean, the question was, but anyway,
What
but
would
we-
Nintendo do?
But we were on a
on retro.
Tangent.
Yeah.
not tangent on retro. So when I think of that, I think Nintendo just feels safe making these games they think people will buy, but then they don't sell them, and then they're like, "Well, what happened?" Well, it's because you made a game that no one was going to buy.
Yeah.
A
A little too conservative
Yeah,
in your approach with it.
very conservative.
I mean, the reason why so many of us love the GameCube titles is because they were actually pretty risky. Like, they were different. I mean, even Sunshine was different in some respects. Like, why would they put a backpack on Mario that could spit water out? You know, like, that was like something that people weren't expecting.
People going into Metroid were just like bashing 3D Metroid all over the place. It's
Yeah.
like, why are you taking this 2D series and making it 3D?
And
it's good.
now these games are, you know, classics. People love them. People want more of them. And it's like, Nintendo realistically is going to do all these things that we mentioned, but honestly, I think it's time that Nintendo realistically made some of these games again. I mean, look at Super Mario Odyssey, which we talked about last time. Like, that game is a return to Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine mechanics.
Yeah.
Why
With
can't they do that with other games? I'm sorry, what?
With additional stuff on top of it.
and
Yeah,
improving upon
absolutely.
that.
Exactly.
So it's like, why, if they're thinking that direction with Mario, what's to say that they're not thinking that direction with their other series?
I do think, because we're starting to see this with both Zelda and Mario, and a little bit with Sun and Moon also earlier, that they're kind of looking at all their current franchises and trying to figure out how they can freshen them up a little, make them a little bit more modern and all that.
Yeah, like, what made them what they are, and what can we do to actually improve upon that while keeping those themes and those mechanics, like, at their core?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Exactly.
So,
Which is why it's kind of interesting though. Reggie would be like, "Talk to me in a year" or whatever. To me, that kind of says that he's waiting for the sales of the Switch to see how it's received first before they do anything.
Which I hope is not what he's saying.
Which is not what he was. He should have been saying like, "Oh, we got stuff for you. Like we have things
right,
down the
which
line."
I believe that's what he was alluding to with that quote.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes it seem like we're not going to say anything until we know that the Switch is a success.
Although I will say it would be probably not okay for him to say, "Oh yeah, those are coming" or something like that.
That would
you know, I mean, that's kind of.
Well, they did that with Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, Reggie accidentally said that at E3.
Oh, you probably got a mouthful.
They did their presentation, and then Reggie said, "Wait, I thought we were showing Fire Emblem." And the whole internet exploded.
Fire Emblem!
He's like, "Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap!"
Yeah, I think if they did more things like that, people would be flipping out a lot more. Like people would be a lot more excited. Yeah. But so if he'd be like, "Yeah, they should be making a Metroid already. They should be making all these games already. They should be staking claims on it." I mean, you can't let one sour grape in the whole vine or whatever poison everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have to take it as it comes. Just because you had one bad Metroid game, you should be able to make another one. And just learn from your mistakes. Yeah. Don't do anime and Metroid. Simple. Like I don't get the point.
Now, I think there is room for some more story in Metroid, yes, but the way that they executed it in Other M is just, it's bad. But we could talk about that in a Metroid Other M episode.
We still haven't done that.
We keep alluding to that.
We keep saying that we're going to do this. I think it's been
first episode of Virtual Boys. We said we were going to another M episode. We still have not yet done that.
All right, well, that's going down in the pipeline. We'll put that on the actual list now that we're redoing our format. We'll deliver on that soon, hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's just going to be running gag forever.
Yeah, the running gag. We're going to do another M episode. But anyway, yes, Nintendo needs to realize that the mistakes that they made, they're in the past, but they can look forward to the future, learning from those mistakes and be like, oh, people didn't like that, so let's try a different approach.
Yeah. And I honestly thought Federation Force was a good game, but it's not exactly what people wanted. Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah. But I thought Federation Force was a great Metroid spinoff. Unfortunately, we haven't had a Metroid game for 10 years. so it's been a while. But it was a good game. And unfortunately, most of the community, the Metroid community, can't see it as that because all they're thinking right now is they want a mainline Metroid game.
Yeah. So my next question is, what things will ensure, at least in your mind, the success of the Nintendo Switch? I mean, Reggie mentioned that the success was going to be a steady stream of games throughout the years. I mean, are there any other elements with that, or do you disagree with Reggie's statement?
I don't. I agree wholeheartedly with a steady stream of games, but also that steady stream of games includes third-party support and first-party support. So they're just working together, making games that you can also get on like PlayStation 4. Not necessarily first party, but like a third party. If you can get something that's not only maybe the exclusive, but also the games that are cross-platform, you can say, hey, look, our games are running on a portable console, you know?
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome? So I think that will determine the success. They need to be good.
Yeah, the games definitely need to be good. What about you, Skylar or Jordan? Is there anything that you...
I'd say don't be afraid to delay games. especially if you like. So Mario Tennis, the physics great. Only one stage and like 12 characters. I swear.
Ultra Smash, right?
Ultra Smash.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That was so
Horrible.
sad.
Make more content. I don't
Make
care.
more content.
Delay it a little bit. That's not a $50 game.
More content. That's another thing.
More content. It's like it's a good game, but it's not great. It's not phenomenal.
I mean, one thing that I want to bring up is Splatoon, the original, had very little content at launch, but at least they had made the promise that more was coming.
Right.
You know, like they're like, oh, we're going to release it now, but we're going to keep adding to it. We're going to keep rebalancing everything. And so that's what made Splatoon a success, was they did add the content that the game desperately needed. So
Well, and they're also doing that for Splatoon 2. They're going to be adding more stuff after the game.
They didn't do that with Zelda. Could you imagine if they just launched Zelda like it was like 2 or 3 years ago instead of just...
oh, whoops, we
you
don't have
can't-
any
you
side
can't
quests, and
do
then a
that.
slow rollout of side
Zelda.
quests.
That'd be bad.
That would be a total mess.
That would be a
So
mess.
they need to not be afraid to delay a game if it's not 100% Nintendo quality with enough Nintendo content to warrant the $60 someone is paying for this game. Delay it. Make it a little bit better, and then show it off to people and be like, hey, this is our amazing game. We spent a lot of time on it. It's worth it. Like, because most people, when they looked at the tennis game, like, it's got like 12 characters. It looks great.
It looks
but
great.
Art
but
assets
there's just like
are
nothing.
one aspect of a game.
Right.
So
Totally.
it can't just look good. It has to be everything, necessarily.
I think that Nintendo needs to kind of show us a larger view of what's in the pipeline. Instead of just focusing to what's only like within less than a year away from release, we need to see more stuff. And I guess that doesn't mean so many surprises going forward, but people need to know what's coming at this point. The Wii U, it was just, no one knew what was going to happen, and promises just were never really accomplished going forward at all. And
Yeah. I think that we can... I think that it's safe to assume, and you guys can totally call me out on this when E3 happens, but E3 will have at least some sort of roadmap, at least for the next year or maybe 2 years.
I don't think it's going to be 2 years. I think it's only going to lead to the next E3.
I mean, that's possible.
I
too.
hope so.
But
I just don't know. If you feel that way, I hope so.
Yeah.
I really do.
They need to, like Jordan was saying earlier, we need to have a broader perspective of what they're doing, and then they can throw in little games here and there just to spice things up. Just make sure all the big titles are listed. Like, we are making this Metroid, we are making this Pikmin, that kind of thing. That way people can be excited for what's to come, and then they can see footage of it or something, and then do little releases, like do that little Mother 3 announcement one day. It just like, boom, here it is, Mother 3, all of a sudden. That would be great. Don't even have to make a big thing out of it, as long as people can see the roadmap, where they're going, what games are coming. Just surprise them with little things.
One more thing I'm going to say is about the 3DS. And I feel like the 3DS is like their backup plan for if the Switch doesn't do well, because they say, oh, we're not done with the 3DS. And it's like, but saying you're not done with the 3DS means you're going to have people still develop for the 3DS. Why not have them start developing for the Switch instead?
Yeah.
There's still games coming out for the 3DS, but I feel bad for like these new IPs like Ever Oasis. Who's going to want to play that when they have their Switch? Now, if they just have the 3DS, okay, that's different. But still, it's... I don't know. It's kind of...
It's the same thing they did with the DS and the Game Boy Advance.
If it works out, if it phases out, that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, exactly.
And so I guess they know more than what they're doing than I do.
But, I don't know. Monster Hunter Switch would be great.
That'd be
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So,
And
Now
now
you
that's
know
not
Capcom's
region
working
locked.
on it.
Now that's not region locked. I hope to bring back the MMO Monster Hunter so that I can pick that up. But
yeah, you could do Dragon Quest X in America now, and that one's an online MMO too, so that's great. I thought that was funny. He's like, not region locked, but I can now play Dragon Quest X if I can understand Japanese. It's like, James, can you be in the room? Dragon Quest
at all
X
times.
all the time.
I gotta go to work.
This is your job now.
How much you paying me?
Freed intern.
Freedom!
A free intern.
A free internship.
I ain't getting you coffee. I'm sorry.
How about had chocolate?
Okay, another question that I have for you guys. I I remember reading, I'm not sure how long ago it was, but there were claims that Nintendo was definitely considering its fan base and the opinions of its fan base with the launch of the Switch and moving forward into the future. Do you think that there's any merit to that that claim? And if the claim is true, do you think that will leak into the Nintendo Switch's future at all?
No, I don't think so. I think they're like, hey, we have Zelda. Great. We have something to release now. That's really all it is. They just kept delaying Zelda, and they're like, oh, if we delay it one more time, then we can make it to the Switch release.
Oh, might as well.
Yeah,
I mean, they did that with Twilight Princess.
it's true. Except Twilight Princess Wii came out first.
Yeah.
Barely.
Came out before the GameCube by like 2 weeks.
Which makes it the original one.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Indeed. Fact.
These are the facts.
But I thought that was so funny. Anyway, Switch.
We have to see. We have to see if they're considering their fan base. With 1-2 Switch and ARMS, not necessarily. ARMS is like, ARMS and 1-2 Switch are them trying to get more people, someone who would like the Joy-Con motion controllers, okay? Mario and Zelda returns to their roots and stuff like that. So that's a good sign that they're thinking of their fan base. But then you have stuff in between. Obviously, Splatoon 2 is just continuing off of that. But we don't see Metroid. We don't see Star Fox. We don't see all the other franchises we mentioned. If they had those games and they had those announced, like Mother 3, then you could say, oh, they are definitely considering their fan base at this point.
Right, I agree with that.
So it's not quite there.
You
I
might
still
have
think
to wait till E3.
Yeah, we may have to wait to E3 until we could say, oh yeah, they know their fan base.
Okay, so I should put this question aside and
Let's
then we can
see.
Come back to it.
Talk to me after E3, darling, okay?
Talk to me in a year.
Let's see what they have. It'd be like, be like Reggie. Like, talk to me in a year.
Yeah. Let's look about this after a year and see what we got.
See what we got then, all right? See what we got then.
All right, so after all that discussion, I just have one final question to ask you guys. How do you see the future of the Switch? Are you excited for it, or does it look a little grim right now?
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm excited for me personally,
Yeah,
but
me personally,
But I said the same thing about the Wii U when it was released, and I'm kind of honestly, I'm a bit concerned we have another Wii U on our hands here. I don't think quite as bad as Wii U, to be honest. I think it's going to definitely hit the 30 million units sold mark, but that's going to be on the crutch that there won't be a handheld anymore, and that's going to bring that up. Realistically, I think it's going to be 40 million, but if Nintendo doesn't do well, it'll be about 30 million probably, which is still 2 times as good as the Wii U. But I'm concerned because I really want Nintendo to succeed. I want good games like Breath of the Wild to be a constant stream coming out of them throughout the unforeseeable future, just for as long as possible. I don't want them to go the way of Sega one day, or for things to change too much.
Yeah, Dream or Saturn out of here, whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have an optimistic view of Nintendo's future, hope that they've learned from the Wii U's mistakes and everything, but I don't think it's a good idea to be a little cautious of perhaps some dark clouds on the horizon that could make it here or could not. I mean, from what we've seen, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot that Nintendo's willing to at least let us know, so who knows if that means they have good content that they're ready to push out next year, the year after, etc. But I do think that, I mean, just my own personal feelings about the Switch, I do think that it is going to be a success. I think that it's going to be a good console, but I definitely don't want to be overly optimistic and then just have my dreams totally crushed if it doesn't do well. Which I don't think will happen, but it could.
I'm not positive it's going to be a success either.
Right.
I want it. Obviously, I want it to be a success, just like you guys. I just, and I think it will be, but there is just this part of me that says, well, you just don't know that. You don't know what the consumer's going to do. I mean, how are we supposed to know that when the Wii came out, we couldn't even get a copy of the Wii, and then with Wii U, I mean, they can't even get rid of them.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
True.
with the Wii, my sister
The
and I would
GameCube,
beg our
same
parents to go to Target every single week when we would go out just to see if there was a Wii available for us to buy. it took weeks and weeks in order for us to actually find one, and then we got the last one that was in stock. And
I
so
got
it
mine
was-
at launch.
Mine was a
lucky
stupid
duck.
story. We just walked to the GameStop, asked they had one. They had one. There we go.
You even luckier duck.
I know. I didn't pre-order it. Nothing. It was just there.
My dad was smart on pre-ordering it, and
The rest is history.
Yeah.
There you go. And same with the amiibo.
He said he got a lot of
Amiibo.
dirty looks though when he said, "Are there any other color options?"
I'm shocked. Yeah, well, yes. Why are you coming over? I'm kidding.
Well, they did add the blue and the black.
Well, I
and
can
the
add a little
one later.
red to it if you know what I mean.
You're getting a Wii, and this is all you're going to get.
Oh,
You have no idea.
sorry I asked. I'm sorry I asked.
So-
Great.
Because that's how his dad talks. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, the Switch is already off to a good pace from my point of view. I mean, it's sold out everywhere here.
Pre-orders,
GameStop, Amazon, eBay scalpers. But anyway, everything's sold out pretty much. And all the Breath of the Wild pre-orders are all sold out. And their
All
goal
Breath of
was
the Wild?
2 million. Huh?
All Breath of the Wild.
Well, I
pre-orders?
mean,
Like,
All
they
of
were-
that. At
the
least
ones that
the
I've seen for
special
Switch.
The
edition.
special
Yeah,
edition, Master Edition.
but there was only 10 per store for that.
Well,
GameStop.
and Amazon
Yeah,
is
GameStop.
out of their Switch copies of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, you can't even
can't
pre-order
even see
it
it
on Amazon.
anymore.
You can't see
There's
it.
not even an option to view the Switch version of the game.
Yep, only the Wii U one.
You have to like go to Google and be like Amazon Breath of the Wild Switch, and then it takes you to a page, and all of the images have been removed
Hype, hype, hype.
because they're like really trying to hide the page because there are no more pre-orders for the game.
Interesting.
But anyway,
So,
I digress.
yeah, right now it's head on the right track, but it might just because of Zelda.
Could be.
So.
Well, I guess time will tell. Talk to us in a year.
Right, Reggie? Right? Wink? Wink?
Well, great. That's all I had for the future of Nintendo Switch for this week. We will take a quick break and be right back. Check out our website at nintendcity.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review to help others find our show on iTunes and other podcast aggregates. I'd also like to take a minute to say thanks for listening to our podcast. If you would like to help our show and keep it going, please consider donating to us at patreon.com/Nintensity. Again, that's patreon.com/Nintensity. Any little bit counts and will help keep the show and the website alive. We've got so much planned still, so be sure to stay tuned for more from Nintensity and the Virtual Boys podcast. And now I guess I get to talk about some business, what I've been playing recently. There isn't a whole lot. I played through more Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. I finished the Pokédex in Pokemon Sun, except for the Ultra Beast and Moon, because I just haven't finished that game yet. But yeah, I'm working on the Living Dex again, since Gen 7 added a whole, 50 new Pokemon?
Something like
80.
that.
80?
With the alternates?
Yeah.
No,
these are the
alternates on
alternates.
top of the 80.
Okay, so the 20.
So
other ones.
that's exciting. Got to hatch a lot more eggs. That was cool. But I've also been playing Mass Effect 2. I know it's a really old game, and but it's really fun. I got it for free on my computer. So
Mass Effect?
Mass Effect 2, yeah. It's really good. It's really, really good. I love shooting people in the head as a sniper infiltrator. Anyway.
I played as a Vanguard. Just kind of punch
Yeah.
people to death.
I was boring and just went. I forgot the name of the class, the one where you just shoot people.
Soldier?
Yeah, soldier.
Just straight up soldier.
I just went straight up soldier.
I put all my points into melee building my shields and everything. So I was just the tank and ran in, and I just gave Garrus a sniper. And I was like, Garrus, you just sniping, and then I'll just go up and murder everyone. It was great.
And I'm just like, the game is constantly telling me, if you sneak up on people, you can flank them and get rid of their advantage. And I'm like, no, I'm going to stay here with my sniper rifle, and as they come out to shoot, I'm just going to hit them in the head, and they die. But anyway, that's what I've been playing. I also have been playing a little bit of the original Legend of Zelda lately. I had this ambitious idea that I'd play through all of the Zelda games before Breath of the Wild came out. Yeah, that's not happening. There are too many of them, and I'm no speedrunner. Like, I don't know all those
Mason's
tricks yet.
doing a good job.
Yeah. He's
he's killing
nowhere.
it.
He's like gone through Wind Waker
And Twilight
And
Princess.
Link Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds.
You guys just need to learn how to speed swim, and then you can beat Wind Waker in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Good point. And
Well,
you can do that in the HD.
That's the amazing thing. They figured out how to do it in the HD version of Wind Waker. They
figured
can
out
super swim. They
can
figured
super
out
swim?
super swimming in HD.
Oh no.
They broke HD. It's faster than the GameCube version now, I think. It's incredible. Whoa. But anyway, the original Legend of Zelda is always really fun to play.
Just
I am
too
really
bad Mass
glad.
Effect got in the way of the. I'm just kidding.
Mass Effect's a good game too.
No,
I'm not
it's
complaining.
true.
Mass
That's
Effect and
Overwatch. Since
Overwatch,
it's the
yeah.
Chinese New Year event right now, and I'm getting as many loot boxes.
You
as
need to
I
get
can.
through the Mass Effect series before the new Mass Effect comes out.
I know. I've got to hurry. I really want to play Andromeda. It looks phenomenal. But,
I think I'm gonna wait until all 3 games come out for that one too, so that I don't have.
Skylar's not going to play for
so
another 12 years.
That way, I don't have the pain of waiting for my next action.
Well, it won't be 12 years because
That's true.
the first trilogy was almost yearly. I swear.
My
remember
sister,
right.
though, is excited for Andromeda to come out so they can announce DA4, Dragon Age 4. That's
Yeah.
what she wants.
Mass Effect's better.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played Dragon Age, so I don't know. But I wanted to just say that playing the original Legend of Zelda
sorry.
makes me very grateful for online guides, because there is no way as a child I would have had the patience to walk around and burn every single bush and bomb every single boulder.
Right?
There is
Right?
no way that I would have been able
No.
to do that.
No.
For all I know,
I
that could be the
did.
new Zelda game.
For all you know.
Oh, there's a lava lake, Skylar. Don't forget about that.
Well, yeah, if there isn't, I think someone's gonna get punched.
Well, at least he doesn't know about the rocket ship yet.
Yeah.
Oh!
And if there's none of that, I'm gonna punch someone else too.
Remember, none of these came from me.
What are you
The
talking
lava
about?
lake did.
The lava lake came from you. That was summer. Anyway, so that's pretty much all of my
I
business.
pretty much shut down all social media, period, because everybody won't shut up about Zelda. So I'm just like,
good reason.
I've gone into such a recluse mode where I'm just like, maybe you'll see me on Facebook once. You know.
They released a new commercial for Zelda. Don't watch the Super Bowl, Skylar.
I didn't, because David's like, don't watch the Super Bowl ad. I was like, all right, probably Zelda in that. No, okay, I'm not gonna watch that.
Yep, there's Zelda in the Super Bowl now.
Yep.
So
And it's glorious.
when Nintendo comes on, I'll probably have to just leave the room.
You'll have a little moment because I'll do the switch.
And you'll hear this song from Imagine Dragons.
Dragons,
coming
yeah.
in. It's a really cool song.
That's a really good song.
It's a good
Imagine
song.
Dragons likes Nintendo a lot because they played with Koji Kondo.
That's right.
At
Yeah,
the
they
Video Game Awards
2 years ago, right?
with the Majora's Mask one.
That was so cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Imagine Dragons is a good band. So that's all my business, because it's only been, 2 weeks since we last recorded? 3 weeks? Anyway, whatever.
Well, the funny thing is, you're going to hear our next week's episode was recorded before this one.
Yeah, so... Well, actually, this piece of business is going to be at the end of that episode. So the episode that you're listening to right now was actually recorded 3 weeks ago, but we recorded last week's episode...
It's a recording
today.
nightmare right now.
It's fine.
It'll make sense.
We're trying to
You'll
get
it.
you relative.
We're getting
content.
relative content out when it needs to come out.
You
So
guys
we
want
figured
me
we'd
to
do
pull out
fire
the
mode.
whiteboard? We can write it all down. Keep track of it.
We've got our Google Calendar. But
Professor
anyway,
Skylar, I'm confused. Please go through it again. I'm just...
well, if you see, how many chocolate bars did you open, Charlie?
2. I can't do 2.
200. Half over
Now,
again.
Dad, I can do that easy.
Anyway, that'll do it for this week's episode of the Virtual Boys Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Again, I've been David, accompanied with Skylar, James, and Jordan, and we're the Virtual Boys from Nintensity. Be sure to check us out online on our website at nintensity.com. We're constantly working on the website. We're gonna make it better soon, I promise. Anyway,
Is it Nintensity or Nintendo
Nintendo City. Like I say it like both ways. If you haven't noticed, it's like a 3-way pun. It's Nintendo City, Nintensity. Maybe it's only 2 ways, but it's got Nintendo and City in there. Whatever. But anyway, Nintendo City. Nintensity, however you want to pronounce it, but just remember that it's a C and not an S. Anyway, be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter and leave us a review on iTunes and all of that good stuff. And we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Goodbye, you good people.